Ladies and gentlemen, we have a business update from Super Micro Computer. You might recall that Super Micro Computer was the stock that I called $150 trash. This was back in April. This was before any Hindenburg short report. This was before the revelations that the company might be committing massive SEC fraud have come to light. At the time, the stock was $750. Split adjusted, that would be $75. And my $150 call would be closer to $15. Well, today, folks, we are much closer to the $15 level than we are the $75 level after the company gave an update not only on the Q1 results, which were expected by the company in full today, but also guidance for the Q2. There is evidence that this company's business is deteriorating, and the negative press and negative news around the company's troubles with the SEC, with its financial auditor resigning, are starting to take a toll on the company. Shares in the after hours are bouncing around quite a bit, but at the current time of recording this video are down about 10%. Now, that does come on the heels of shares up over 6% during the regular trade, but my guess is a lot of people that were short this stock have made a lot of money and wanted to cover moving into not only an election day, but also the fact that the company was giving us a business update. We'll get into the business update. They gave us an update from the independent special committee that has been looking into the company. We'll put that in air quotes. It's almost like a government agency looking into government fraud. You probably can imagine what type of things they'll find. They also gave an update on the 10K annual report, which was due, I think, a month or two ago. Still no plan there. We'll also get a NASDAQ compliance plan, as this company has been notified by NASDAQ that it will be delisted in 60 days if they don't present a plan for that annual report. More importantly, though, we got second quarter guidance for this company, and it's showing a deterioration in the business. We'll talk about what the expectations from Wall Street were and where Supermicro came in. We'll also obviously talk about the first quarter, where they gave us basically some numbers on paper, which, if you know anything about this company, you really can't believe until maybe an independent audit is done. Now, Supermicro Computer over the past year is up just 9% year to date, down 2.5%, but it's really been tragic over the past 6 months, really since we've posted our video back in April. Shares have been on a straight line down 66%. Basically, nobody would have called that move except for me. Now, NVIDIA moves Supermicro orders to other suppliers to maintain supply chain stability. As most of you know, Supermicro basically buys NVIDIA GPUs, packages them into servers, and delivers those to clients. It's obviously been a red hot business, and this company's revenue, for the most part, still remains red hot on a year-over-year growth perspective, but I'm going to show you here in a minute. It's about to cool off in a major way. And if NVIDIA pulls the plug on Supermicro, well, there goes basically all of their business, at least from the high-end GPU server market. They gave an update from the independent special committee. They said that special committee, which again, more or less appointed and selected by the company, has completed its investigation based on a set of initial concerns raised by Ernst & Young. Ernst & Young is the auditor which resigned from the company earlier last week. Now, following a 3-month investigation led by this independent counsel, the committee's investigation to date has found that the audit committee has acted independently. There's no evidence of fraud, misconduct by the part of management or its board of directors. The only people that believe this are the people that have been desperately holding on to Supermicro stock for the past 6 months, after I told you back in April exactly what was going to happen to this company. Now, the committee is recommending a series of measures by the company to strengthen its internal governance and oversight functions, and the committee expects to deliver a full report to be completed this week or next. So within the next week or two, you should get some remedies or some suggestions that should happen. And the special committee has other work that is ongoing, but expect to be completed soon. That is about what you would expect by an independent committee that's basically appointed by a company. Now, From the 10K perspective, this is an annual report that all companies, particularly companies of the size of Supermicro, we're not talking about a penny stock here. We're talking about a stock with a $15 billion market cap. In fact, it's located inside of the S&P 500. A lot of people are saying this is not particularly rare. This is something that'll blow over. This is extraordinarily rare that you have a $15 billion company that is inside of the S&P 500 and one of the world's hottest stocks, most recognized stocks, go through this type of thing. It means there's some serious bad things going on. And the fact that you can't file your 10K on time, and as of the current report, as of November 5th, the company still is working, quote, diligently on the matters related to its 10K, but remains unable at this time to predict when the annual report will be filed. That is an absolute disgrace. And if you continue to hold these shares, you're not an investor. Click off of this video, unsubscribe to the channel, stop watching my videos, watch all these other jokers that really don't know what they're talking about and that really don't understand why not filing your 10K annual report is such a disgrace to you, the investor. Now, there is a NASDAQ compliance plan because Supermicro got a compliance notice on September 20th with NASDAQ saying the company is not in compliance with NASDAQ listing rules. And again, the only time I ever see this is on penny stocks. In fact, it's very common for a penny stock to not report their annual report, to not have it ready, to delay it, and then get a NASDAQ compliance notice. Their shares are under $1. They get a NASDAQ compliance notice. They do a reverse split, and times move on. It is extraordinarily rare for it to happen to a company with like a more than $1 billion valuation, let alone $15 billion valuation. The company has 60 days from the notice, which would be on September 20th, to file either its 10K or submit a plan. Now, I will say that NASDAQ will be relatively lenient in this case. The company could have some type of plan, some type of even flimsy plan, and the NASDAQ will likely give the company several more months in order to file the 10K. It's not that the 10K is not filed. It's the fact that this company is so negligent to not file it in the first place. Now, here's where things really meet the road with Supermicro Computer, and this is where anybody that continues to hold shares should be really, really concerned, because the company expects their second quarter revenue to be between $5.5 billion up to $6.1 billion. I'll give you a clue that we can't believe any of these numbers because this company can't even release a set of audited financials. Now, keep in mind, folks, that they gave you guidance for the first quarter, $6 to $7 billion, and they're expecting the number to be about $6 billion. So when this company gives you guidance, that maybe you should take it with a grain of salt. The fact is, for the second quarter, they're expecting revenues between $5.5 and $6.1 billion. The problem with that, and one of the reasons why the stock is selling off in the after hours, is that Wall Street was expecting Q2 to be $6.8 billion. I'll repeat, Supermicro is telling you $5.5 to $6.1 billion. Wall Street was expecting 6.8. Some people on Wall Street were expecting a number closer to $7.3 billion. So the company coming out massively short in the second quarter. That is because NVIDIA, it does not want to deal with Supermicro because it is starting to paint a bad picture on the company. And if NVIDIA starts pulling business away from this company and directing it to other suppliers, then that certainly is not good for Supermicro in the short term or even the long term, because this AI supercomputer build out is only going to last so long. Now, the company gave us an update for the first quarter as well, expecting revenues between $5.9 billion and $6 billion. We'll call it basically $6 billion even. The problem with that is Wall Street was expecting a number closer to $6.44 billion. In fact, the low end estimate was for 6 and the high end was for 6.5. And so the company coming up short, not only in the first quarter, but also in their second quarter guidance. All of this in totality is seeing shares of Supermicro Computer down about 9%, 10% in the after hours. We'll see if it's able to follow through later tomorrow and into the rest of the week. Now, there is some area of consolidation with Supermicro that is here at the bottom of the range at about $22 per share. The top end of the range is what we'll call up here at $33. Believers in Supermicro are going to want to hold this level with every ounce of their being, because if this area breaks, more specifically the $22 area breaks, and in the after hours we're close to 24, well, my $15 share price target on this one will get obliterated, because you are actually going to walk your way back to the long-term trend line that has been in place since 2018 on this one. And if you do it in the short term, especially in the steepness that it's going on, you'll actually get closer to about $10 per share. Now, when Supermicro, notice when I say when, Supermicro reaches $15 per share, we'll have to do a reevaluation on the stock. It could actually be a buying opportunity, because you will be pulling back to an area of long-term trend. At that point, maybe the company's remedies that will be recommended by the board of directors, maybe we'll actually have an annual report, and maybe management will actually get fired and kicked out of this company, and NVIDIA will be able to move forward with this company as a key supplier. Until that day happens, this is absolute toxic waste. If you invest in these types of companies, you're not an investor, you're a gambler. You might as well be going to Vegas. At least you'd have some very good looking cocktail waitress to look at and some cocktails to drink. With Supermicro, you just get tummy aches every single time the company reports their earnings, because after Q1 results miss, Q2 results miss, you better believe Q3 and Q4 as you move into next year are going to be nowhere near expectations over at Wall Street. And you still have a $15 billion valuation on a stock that hasn't even filed an audited set of financials over the past 6 months. Folks, that was Supermicro Computer. Not here to get views. I'm not here to have you guys like me in the comment section. I'm here to provide the truth about a lot of these stocks that have been glossed over and just anointed winners in the AI race when they are actually absolute frauds. I'll see you guys at $15 per share, and that's probably the next time we'll do a video on Supermicro, unless it happens to go to zero before then. Enjoy election day. Enjoy the rest of the week. We'll see you again on Friday for the Fang Stock Recap Show. Good luck with your investments.